The Doghouse Cup Series is proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is today's all-American kitchen. Open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Shoney's guests can count on quality, delicious food along with warm, friendly service. Stop by one of the West Virginia locations to try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar. And don't forget to take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. This is the Doghouse Racing League. We appreciate you guys joining us here at SimTrack Broadcasting, brought to you by the Next Level Racing and the Shoney's sponsoring this league. We are taking a little look here at Andrew St Coeur right now, who has knocked down a 29:32 out there. Only person faster is Jacob Reeves, who actually joins me on Wednesday nights. They're down some blistering times out here at none other than the Lady in Black, the track that is too tough to tame, Darlington Raceway. And boy, what a great place to be here in Darlington, South Carolina, where the track is ever so changing, but it doesn't seem to have changed much over the years. Not too much paving changes. The safer barrier walls hanging out there are allowing guys to kind of clip the wall and not destroy their car. But joining alongside me here tonight is Douglas Ross, and man, what a wild race we might be in actually have drummed up for us here tonight. 110 laps, and these drivers are really ready to go.
Yes, these drivers are definitely going to be battling Darlington tonight, as Darlington is probably one of those tracks that you constantly have to watch yourself around this track. And right now, I'm already watching a lot of these drivers, and these drivers are absolutely putting down fast lap times, as Jonathan Jennings is putting down a fast 29.159. That is amazing for a lap time here at Darlington.
Yeah, that it is. But Jonathan Jennings being the reigning champ of last season, Andrew St Coeur coming off his win actually a couple weeks ago, since we had an off week. I'm interested to see if Andrew St Coeur can come back, battle that forward into the top three, as he has been knocked out, sitting down in the fourth position. Reeves, we talked earlier, in that McConey setup shop number 3 Chevrolet gets knocked down to third. But Jonathan Jennings and Kevin Powell, talk about a little brotherly love there, will be starting in the front row here tonight unless somebody can unseat them. Curtis Ecker is sitting out on the track right now in the number 9 Chevrolet. We'll see how that Napa machine continues on. And Justin McMahon, the number 24 Chevrolet, he's going to try to get a little something going on here, but I think he's had some trouble out there. Ugh, yuck. He had a decent time, but not too fast. Not showing him registering on the ticker here at this point. 24 Chevrolet might count it out, but let's root on Curtis Ecker as he tries to wrap around this track. And I would say, Douglas, you know, looking at how this track is, and I'm used to racing more in the Xfinity and the Truck Series out here at this track, I had so much trouble about mid-turn or turn entry into these turns. You know, I'm finding the next gens seem to be extremely loose on turn exit. What do you feel?
Basically, what I actually feel right now, I do have to 110% agree with you on that aspect. The next gen cars are definitely going to be a lot more looser, especially with the fact that they do have more weight in them. I did have a pleasure on actually racing a couple of other cars like the Gen 6s, the Xfinities, the trucks. I've raced every aspect of all those cars with different kinds of setups, but the next gens, they're a different story when it comes to Darlington. You really got to drive these things.
Oh yeah, well, drivers are getting ready to drive these things as the grid is getting locked and loaded here. A couple more drivers trying to see if they can get out onto the track. But look at the beautiful Darlington Raceway. What a fantastic place to be. And we'll see how well these guys can do as we will be sitting actually in the Wallace Towers here for a little bit tonight as we take a little peek. But let's get on at it here as Jonathan Jennings and Kevin Powell will be starting in the front row. Jacob Reeves, Andrew St Coeur will be starting row number 2. Krevin Thompson. There we go. There's another Twisted Axle Racing driver starting 5th next to Christopher Simon. Gary Clune will actually be 7th next to Jackson Lomax. Hey, give it up for Jackson Lomax here. Once again, that 96 Chevrolet getting a top 10 start. Bill Gentry will be number 9th and Kim Kraus starting 10th. Following on back, Bobby Goodwin will be 11th and Nate Orlowski will be in the 12th position. Let's rotate on back to Daniel Wilkerson from Loud Pedal Racing in the 78 machine starting 13th. Next to Tim Henderson. I haven't seen Tim Henderson race here before, but hopefully he'll be able to put down a solid time. Justin McMahon will be 15th next to Stephen Wanamo in starting 16th, and Mike Leftwich 17th. And, well, I'll tell you what, Dylan Goodwin, Curtis Ecker, and Gary Madu starting here in the back. Hopefully they're able to battle their way up to the front because starting that far back in this field might be suicide. Not being able to catch back up because the speed that Kevin Powell and Jonathan Jennings are going to have here are really, really going to take a toll. They've got to figure out how to stay fast, stay consistent, and keep from going many, many laps down.
Yes, absolutely. And we can actually see from the qualifying times here, we only had 14 of the 20 drivers qualify. So 15 on back did not make the qualifying run. Maybe opting going to the back, maybe taking it easy, trying to avoid some messes that are going to possibly maybe come. It all depends on how the drivers race this track at the beginning of the race. But I think as of right now, I think they're just playing it safe, and we might even see some of those drivers in the end towards the front when this thing comes to an end. Absolutely, and I think even some of those drivers, depending on what it is, you might even see some of those drivers get as close as to riding the wall like Kyle Larson does when he's at this track. You might see a couple of drivers like get right on the wall when it comes to this. You never know.
All right, well, hopefully we don't see a Kyle Larson in later on as he was pretty upset at the race at Darlington. But away we go for green flag. Jonathan Jennings leading this one away. Kevin Powell sitting second here. But notice how the field is already starting to break up a good little bit here. We're trying to see if they can find another way around the route. Trying to get going here. And see if they can get anything else going here. Oh, Andrew St. Coeur sitting in that 12th. In that number 12 car sitting 4th. Let's see if he can kind of wrap around here. Only lap 1 underway here. And Douglas, this is looking pretty crazy.
So it is looking pretty crazy in the beginning of the first couple of laps. Now, this track is majorly positioned weird, as people know. The layout of this track is not like any other track we normally go to. Turns 1 and 2, you may be able to get mostly throttle coming in and out of the corners, but when it comes to 3 and 4, it's going to be all about throttle control when it comes to these corners.
All right, and K-Doggy out there, I see what you're saying. Mike went low volume. You got to love a Yeti, man. This thing decides to boom, and it's gone. But we should be back ready to rock here. Right now, unchanged here, really, 1 through 7. Jennings, Powell, Reeves, and St. Coeur, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Thompson, Simon, and Gary Clune. No one's moved as of yet, but it's a man on the move, actually, is Justin McMahon. Seems to be moving through, and if I'm not mistaken, that looks like yes, that is Jeff Gordon's T-Rex car out here. So a little throwback paint for Justin McMahon. Good to see that paying out here. And I would say, right car, wrong track. Because Charlotte is where that car actually drove its first and only race for the All-Star race for Jeff Gordon. He went out there and they outlawed that car immediately. Per the words of Jeff Gordon, that thing stuck like glue. There was nothing I couldn't throw at that thing as it got around. But as a big spring car, it has now been put into a museum. And good thing for Justin McMahon to bring it back out there the way we can all remember that insane race that Jeff Gordon had at Charlotte.
It actually is really glad to see a Jeff Gordon throwback scheme. As a matter of fact, Jeff Gordon is one of my favorite drivers when it comes to NASCAR from past history and present history. And basically, I'm actually watching Justin McMahon right now, and he is actually one of the fastest drivers on the track right now. Justin right now is on a smooth mission, passing cars one at a time. Because as we know with Darlington, passing a car can be very, very impossible. Oh, and we have contact with the wall.
No caution. There it is. Oh. Okay. Multiple questions here. He just smacked the wall, and the car's back in one piece. What? T-Rex car, baby. What in the world happened here?
See, that's one thing I love about these next-gen cars is that, I mean, yes, you can hit the wall really, really hard, and these things are so stiff they won't get as much damage as the Gen 6 car would, but hard enough hit, if you get enough damage on these things, it could really throw them out of place.
Yeah, that's not good. Let's take another look at this. Kind of this angle. Figure out, oof. I like how the hood flies off, you know? It makes it look like it's a really wicked shot here. But I'm not convinced.
And I'm actually watching the replay right now. I'm actually wondering if Justin maybe went up the track, maybe gained too much momentum.
Yeah, it did look like he was triangulating the turn there a little bit, and I thought he may have thought he had cleared the 29. But that was not, definitely not what happened here. Let's take a look at it kind of half speed. Right, see, right there, he looks okay, but they may have tried to rotate back up, and the two of them made connection. I'd just like to... Right? Here.
Yeah.
Kind of fixes the car. So I'm a little confused on the damage model here that iRacing has provided us as we're taking a little look here at Justin McMahon working his way down pit. Curtis Ecker down here as well. He's been down pit road almost 2 minutes already in the number 9 Chevrolet, so he'll be on the back foot here. And Jacob Reeves. Actually, Jacob Reeves is now joining pit road. So I don't know if he's got a little bit of trouble here out of that Chevrolet. There we go, back down. Good Lord, 20 seconds down pit. He may have dealt with a little bit of damage on that right front.
And maybe a little bit of damage for him, as it looks like he's off pit road now, or that might be someone else.
Yeah, he's working his way out of pit. McMahon and Curtis Ecker still down. And I would kind of note that Jacob Reeves was sitting top 5 and decided to pit. So a little different strategy here. Interesting seeing him already taking tires. So whatever the adjustment he needed to make may have involved some, the tires. I wonder if it changed a little bit out there on the track, any kind of conditions. But let's talk a little bit about tonight's race, because we kind of got a little ahead of ourselves, because I do want to take a look at that 100-degree track temperature. That may be what's definitely changing it up. I knew during practice the other day it was somewhere in the 80s, so picking up about 20 degrees is going to cause these cars to get really, really slick out there and try to get this back together. But let's go ahead and note that 110 laps tonight, 3 sets of tires in the pits. Fuel limit will be at 70%, and of course there are no fast repairs, so this may actually be really bad for Justin McMahon. 1 minute of repairs, he's back out on the track. So this is going to be, that's going to kind of line it the rest of the way up. I do want to check out Justin McMahon and see if he is, yep, he's back out. Everything looking good. So back to the back of the pack for him. He'll be starting right next to Daniel Wilkerson. Good throwback paint scheme for him as well. Yeah. All right, where's Kevin Powell? Where's Kevin Powell? Let's see if he can get something going on here. Pace car lights are still on Fortunately, no choose cone rule here, so they've decided to say no, because that can make or break a race. St Coeur and Kevin Thompson will actually be starting side by side here. That's going to be really good for the Twisted Axle Racing team. And I believe the last driver for the Twisted Axle Racing team, Gary Clune, he'll actually be starting in the top 10. Not too shabby for that race team here, being able to turn it around and get themselves back up to the front. Clune has actually dropped down a spot since he started this race. Biggest mover of the race, Mike Leftwich, and the number 60 machine. During practice, he had kind of kissed off the wall a couple of times, so looks like the pit crew has been able to fix that. Chevrolet back to good health as he's moved his way on up, and Gary Madu, he has moved up 6 positions. So the 63 machine, one of our 2 Canadian drivers out here, is right now sitting in that 14th position, so not too shabby. And all the drivers getting locked and loaded here for another green flag run. Interesting to see that caution so early into the race. But these guys cutting it as close to the wall as they can and trying to push the limits of these next gens. We're going to see them go at it again.
Our current leader right now, Jonathan Jennings, has opted to take the outside line, which actually isn't a bad idea because the outside line may be where you want to be when it comes to a run off of the corners. But it can also be one of the slick spots when it comes to this. But by then, if the tires have heated up, you might be just fine.
Yeah, I actually love the call, being able to go ahead and slide to the outside, and he'll be able to actually dive into the turn with the way his restarts have been last season and this season. He's able to just get that pull away. He's able to make almost a quarter of a second break, and Kevin Powell, a teammate of his, going ahead and letting that 91 machine get out in front and do his thing. But right now, yeah, Jonathan Jennings driving away with this one. Led all the laps here so far, all 12. Woohoo. As we keep going here. Kevin Powell is second. Kevin Thompson looks like he got around Andrew St Coeur. And I would say, looking at how many races we've seen and we've called here at Simtrax Broadcasting, Andrew St Coeur sits back. He does not press on immediately. He waits it out, waits for the tires to settle in, and he attacks when everybody else's tire wear is on the brink of explosion. These things turn to dust, and he seems to just have that extra grip there at the end. So Andrew St Coeur sitting back here a little bit, back where he originally started this race in 4th, and he's going to try to battle his way back to the front. But I think we got some battles back here in the back. I know Bill Gentry may have had some trouble here, down to the bottom and clipped the inside wall here. Not looking too good for the 34 Chevrolet here, Douglas.
Yes, and I tell you what, another car that had just an amazing save right now is the 29 of Nate Orlowski. He currently right now was just about on the verge of spinning, and he regained himself before it could even get into more trouble.
Now, Nate Orlowski did not visit pit road. He may be dealing with some of the damage that he had kind of collected up there from McMahon. McMahon is back down the pits. Looked like 3 more minutes in the pit box for him. So he is continuing to fix the damage, but we do see right side damage out of Nate Orlowski's machine, and he is right now sitting 17th. We'll see him as he kind of comes around here. He's driving the corn car here. That's an interesting paint scheme, but looking good out there. Let's see if we can rotate back up front to Mike Leftwich. Leftwich has now moved up 8 positions, so breaking into the top 10. See if he can run down Gary Clune here. And Clune, not too bad here out of the Miller Lite machine. He's got it going on. And we're already seeing more smoke on the inside line. I'm interested to see if anybody else is having a bunch more trouble. Bill Gentry missed pit road last lap, working his way down pit, now sitting in the box. So a lot of drivers kind of shuffling it up here, back and forth, back and forth. Jacob Reeves, who pit earlier, fought his way back up to 10th, but he's got 7 more positions to go to at least get back to a podium position. But these laps are ticking off here pretty quick as long as we stay under green.
Definitely does look like it, and like you said, Mike Leftwich, he is our biggest mover right now. He started back in spot number 17. He is currently up to spot number 9 and still trying to make a move. As right in front of him, it looks like we got a wreck involving the 11 and the 218 right now.
Oh, Gary Clune, hold it. Holy cow. Looked like everybody else almost got him there. That was close. Wow. Yeah, it looks like Gary Clune, Bobby Goodwin. I'm not sure if Orlowski was caught up in that one. What happened to Gary Clune here?
I'm actually watching it right now. It looks like Gary Clune got a little bit tight coming off of turn 1, and he just went up right into the wall, and unfortunately Kim Kraus in the 218 just had nowhere to go.
Wow. Take another look at it here. Clune, oof. He almost saves it here. Almost tries to bring it back.
It looked like Kim Kraus just had nowhere to go as soon as he came back down the track.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand what happened to Bobby Goodwin here. Bobby Goodwin ended up spinning out there as well, so as we see the slick, it's like he's trying to, ooh, man, look at Justin McMahon. I can't imagine that position right there. He's avoiding one, and then somebody from behind him, almost two places back. There was at least a second and a half between those two. And then he slings by you, and he's spinning out. So, boy, that had to be a rush. Justin McMahon, all right. So now pit stops are starting to happen for ones you wouldn't expect. Jonathan Jennings, Kevin Powell, Tim Henderson, Jackson Lomax working his way down. So we'll actually talk about the guys who didn't pit. Kevin Thompson, Andrew St Coeur, Kim Kraus, Jacob Reeves, we saw him pit on 7. So this might actually be working out so far so good for him. He'll be 4th. Buonamo will be starting 5th, and Gary Madu will be 6th. Though right now the top 5 out of the 6 have yet to pit. And Jacob Reeves has got a little extra here, but definitely an offset pit timing for him. But, oh, man, it looks like Steven in the 22. He's going to work his way on back down pit road. A couple other drivers, Bill Gentry and Justin McMahon. Back down pit road yet again. Now, McMahon is down multiple laps here. So he's going to try to fight his way back up. I believe he's down at least 7. So he's going to try to battle it back to the front. But, man, oh, man. Interesting to see Twisted Axle Racing not pitting yet. There are no stages in this one. You know, Douglas, talk to me here, man. Is this a good call?
To tell you the honest truth, I actually think it is a good call, because only for the fact these drivers right here have heat already in their tires. So these cars are going to stick a lot better to the track, depending on what the others do in the back. But the others, they're on fresh new tires, which means they're going to have to be careful, because that car is really going to be slick on the first couple of laps. These top 4, they could easily just take off from these guys, depending on how much heat they already have in their tires.
Yeah, no kidding. And I do want to kind of mention here, it may be a little extra information here. Jonathan Jennings, Powell, Henderson, these guys had pit stop times less than 7.5 seconds. I mean, Daniel Wilkerson as well with a 5.6 second pit stop time. So we were talking about, we're talking about heat in the tires. I don't think anybody except Jackson Lomax or some of the drivers in the back, Christopher Simon, Mike Leftwich, Orlowski, and Clune, those guys took tires. But these other guys look like they may just fuel and go. So somebody's thinking long run here.
Maybe a long run, or maybe even if some guys didn't want to take 4 tires, maybe even some people could have even taken 2 tires. Sometimes 2 tires are better than taking 4.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see whether that's going to play out the right way for them later on here in this run. Let's take a little look here. Let's see if I can get, there we go. Here's some of that pit stop time that we were talking about. So, interesting enough to see which guys didn't take tires, which one took tires, and how long they were down pit road. So that could be the make or break of the race, and we've seen a lot of pit strategy be that, that deal, that being the make or break of that race. So we're seeing a little bit of those pit stop and stint times there, and the amount of positions they have moved up here in the race. Madu moving up that 15 mark. So not too shabby here, but let's see as we get back underway. And we'll be starting lap 22 with Kevin Thompson and Andrew St Coeur leading it for Twisted Axle Racing here in the front, and away they go back under green. I'm happy about that. Some of these drivers definitely looking to see if they can keep it going here. I think Gary Clune had a little bit of a hiccup there. He was starting in the 12th position, flies back to 14th already. stay with Andrew St. Coeur here, as we are already single file until we get back to Jonathan Jennings, who's trying to take over Madhu. Inside line, there's a little contact. Madhu almost into the wall here. Kevin Powell in the 93 sliding underneath as well. And what does Jackson Lomax do? Does Jackson Lomax slide underneath? He's going to try. So the 96 machine continuing on here. Oh, yeah, he looks like he's going to get it. So that means Madhu on the march back, as Christopher Simon will be next in the McDonald's number 27. Daniel Wilkerson in the 78 taking a look as well. And we're talking somebody who didn't pit. Right now, I'm wondering if Madhu's wondering if he should have come down as well and gotten some tires.
That's definitely, absolutely. And as we've seen on the start, those first four drivers took right off, and those are the four drivers that did not pit. Of course, because they had heat already in their tires, they didn't have to worry about it on the start from spinning. Those fresh new tires that people had to come down and get, it's going to really, really affect the start depending on where you start, because those are going to be really, really slippery.
Yeah, I'm still hooked on Madhu back here. He already had some contact back here with Daniel Wilkerson. Almost put him into the wall on 1 and 2. 63 clipped the wall and then almost came back down and caught Henderson. And right now, Madhu still on the march back here. This is not looking good for the 63 Ford. He has been having a heck of a time. Right now, he's got to get heat back in those tires again and try to make connection. This thing is sliding all over the track, and I'm wondering, is this, maybe a bad adjustment? Whoa, dog! They're going off. Nate Orlowski almost into the wall. Dylan Goodwin, Bobby Goodwin. He fought his way back onto the track, and Gary Madhu. So every 3 drivers at least exiting turn 2 here, almost going into the inside wall. This is not looking good for everybody outside the top 10. But right now, everybody looking good, at least high up where Jonathan Jennings is. Looks like he's going to see if he can floss around Kim Krause in the Hot Wheels machine on the inside. But take a look at the amount of distance the Twisted Axle Racing team has made. Almost over a two and a half second gap. And Jonathan Jennings has hit the inside wall. Heavy left side damage to his machine. I see a fender flapping here, and I don't know if he's broken the left toe link.
I see exactly what happened to Jonathan Jennings. He unfortunately was a victim of circumstance from Kim Krause. He ended up getting badly loose off of the corner. And once again, Jonathan Jennings was a victim of circumstance, just had nowhere to go when Kim Krause was wrecking.
Whoa. Right now, last season's champion eating the wall here. Not looking good. Let's rotate it back here just a little bit. Try to see if we can find what causes this here. There we go. There's Krause getting loose. I think that wall, he was thinking that wall was going to come up and bite him. Boom.
It looks like on that wreck, it looks like also Kim Krause did get a little bit of damage, but it doesn't look like he's going to come down pit road, as it doesn't really look like it's affecting him that much.
Yeah. Wow. That is going to, that's going to change things up a little bit here. Jonathan Jennings back down to 14th position. He's going to have a fight here. I don't know if some trouble has happened. I'm showing something. Justin McMahon might have had some trouble out here. I'm hoping he didn't get bit by the barrels. Uh-oh.
As we have drivers coming down pit road, it looks like we have some interesting plays going on here.
Pit road now being taken by Twisted Axle Racing. They've come back down. Well, they've come down, actually. This is their first time coming down pit road. This would be actually a really good call here. I think it was about time, seeing that we're lap 29, guys are sliding all over the track. If there's oil on the track, try to straighten that out and give this another go. Boy, fast pit times. Look at that. Kevin Thompson and Andrew St. Coeur breaking out again. Christopher Simon and Mike Leftwich from Shoney's racing team will be starting in the front row if they decide not to pit here. So that's going to be kind of tough. We'll see if that kind of changes up anything here. I would kind of question this at all to see if anything happens.
Patrick, I can certainly tell you right now, I was actually watching the cars down pit road, and a lot of interesting plays from some of the drivers we've seen come down pit road. A lot of 4-tire strategies and some 2-tire pit strategies.
Yeah, definitely for certain here. I would say, who did you see take 2 tires there? I see a lot of guys having to spend more time down down in the pit box than they needed to be. No, Kraus came down, but
a lot of the drivers took 4 tires, but one driver in particularly I was focusing on that took only 2 left side tires was Jackson Lomax in the 96.
Interesting. I wonder if he may have been fixing a little bit of damage. Remember, we talked a little bit about him coming down, drivers getting 4 tires. He had only had a 10-second pit stall time. He may be coming back down to get the other side, so not losing really many positions. 10th place for him. But I'm interested to know if Jonathan Jennings is going to be able to return with any sort of opportunity here, as it looks like he's going to try to work his way back down pit road again. He's got to be careful not to pass Tim Henderson here before he goes down pit. Ooh. Interesting shot here by Jonathan Jennings. He went past the committal cone, so in he goes, trying to see if he can fix any more of that damage. But interesting enough, Andrew St Coeur back in the line here. 15th position. I'm not sure what happened. Oh, he came back down. Gave another spit of fuel in there. 5 seconds. Yeah, that's kind of, I gotta admit, that's an Andrew St Coeur move there. That's what he does. Switches it up just a little bit before we get going. Pace car lights are out. Simon Leftwich in the front. Guenemo and Gary Clune will be starting 3 and 4. Olowski and Bobby Goodwin in the front with the 5 and 6 on row 3. So, boy, oh boy, this is going to be an interesting mix-up here. Kevin Thompson and Kevin Powell, the 93 and the 21, both their Fords, will be starting in row number 4. In row 5, Jackson Lomax and Jacob Reeves having to go at it again. Most drivers have made at least 1, if not 2 pit stops here. And we are only 31 laps into this. 32 beginning when we cross the line here. Let's see if Christopher
has ducked out into the
Go ahead, my man. I was going to say we're getting this 27 Toyota launched off here, and away Christopher Simon goes. Let's see how this holds out, because the tire strategy is going to be a big play on the remainder of this race.
This is going to be a very, very interesting to see what some of these drivers are going to do right now. A lot of the drivers that did pit. Oh, we have a problem.
Yep, Orlowski getting to the inside of the wall. It looked like Kevin Powell was trying to send that thing 3 wide, getting really annoyed with kind of some of the speed that is now sitting in front of him. Most of the guys in front of him have yet to pit, so he has actually got the upper hand here with the amount of grip that he has. Quick little adjustment, and watch that 93 floss on through. How in the world did he just triangulate that one without bouncing off Gary Clune? So Clune's going to march on back as Clune, is about to get pinched in 2. Is able to survive and keep going here. So some of those drivers who did not pit are already on the march back. Kevin Powell trying to see if he can get away from his brother Jonathan Jennings, who's now sitting 15th, and definitely put some distance on the rest of the field. But he's only got 1, 2, if not only 3 cars in front of him, but about to make it 2, as he looks at Steven Guenemo here in the 22 Chevrolet, and he's going to get a mirrorful and try to get Steven behind him here.
As of right now, when you were speaking of that, we actually have a change for the lead as Mike Leftwich in the 60 car managed to pass his teammate Christopher Simon in the 27. I do believe that's his teammate. I got to get used to these teams.
Yeah, it's all right. They already got some more trouble here in the back. I don't know if that was Bill Gentry. Looked like he may have been sliding off the track there, almost caught the edge of the wall again coming out of 2. Definitely difficult to see as they've narrowed this track. Oop, little lick right there. Once again, we'll pop there to the wall. Look like number 28 here of Bobby Goodwin. This track just seems to be getting more and more narrow, but Bobby Goodwin trying to show the guys in aerodynamics they don't know what they're doing, as he definitely clearances the right side of his car. Daniel Wilkerson's going to overtake him on the bottom end. In the Western Auto Chevrolet on the bottom. Let's see Andrew St Coeur. Here he comes, the number 12. Remember I said he came down for that quick spit of fuel on lap 29, so he's going to be able to maybe squeeze out an extra lap or two here as he's going to get back to the front. But B-Mac out there already saying go for it, number 12. Chat's a little quiet here tonight, guys. Don't forget to go ahead and chat it up with me. I'm watching you out there. As we get back up to the front where Kevin Thompson's sitting fourth. Kevin Powell's at least gotten third, and now he's trying to run down the rest of these drivers. But lap 18 for both Leftwich and Simon as they got their 4 tires at that time. Will this be kind of the make or break of this race, seeing that only a 10-lap difference between these 3 drivers here in the top 3 on fuel strategy, fuel length? Boy, look at Kevin Powell throwing it out of 4, breaks loose a little bit, and he's still trying to reel it in. So, you know, do you know of any adjustment out there that these drivers can make to try to tighten up the rear end of this race car so they're not, you know, flailing around so bad?
As of right now, really no. There's no adjustments that you can make to the rear that can really make a difference when it comes to Darlington. I tried the adjustments myself when I tested the car here. This is one of the primary cars that I've ever tested. You can't really do much to the rear end to help it drive around this track, really, because the track has such a weird layout. It's really going to be close to impossible.
Welcome back, Timmy Ray. I know some of the adjustments you can make, you kind of wish it was old style with the spoiler, but that can't be done. Any kind of differential preload to help with the turning, but it looks like it's turning too well. I've tried before trying to flatten the left rear tire and see if it'll kind of smooth it out a little bit, get a little more grip on the inside tire so it won't try to spin out from under you. But man, oh man, it's hard to say with the track bar adjustment and so many things that you can move in the back, even spring rates. But right now, Kevin Powell trying to see if he can spring into the front here as he's right now taking a look on the outside, now back to the inside. Mike Leftwich is in a lot of trouble here as Kevin Powell looking to floss his way around, and he does. Around he goes, and now he's going to put him into the rear view. Mike Leftwich trying to take a little look here. Let's look out of the back of his machine here as we take a peek at, I guarantee you, Kevin Thompson's going to be taking a look here. But, man, I just don't know. It's not looking too good here as Christopher Simon's getting right behind him here. But, boy, oh boy, Kevin Powell half a second ahead. I know we're not taking... we're not taking a good look at him now because he's starting to drive away, but this could be an ugly one. They've taken a look. Christopher Simon taking a look on the inside again. That number 27 Toyota, the only Toyota out here in the field. Right now sitting a good top 3, so not too bad. Out of these drivers, doesn't look like anybody had any trouble out here, but really, where is Jonathan Jennings? Too much damage, has him 17th. Wow. Wow, but well, I'm sure we'll see him return later on in the season because he always does. He always seems to find that route back. Let's get back here to St Coeur. I know we talk about St Coeur a lot, but man, he is on the move. 10th position for him. So trying to floss his way through the remainder of this field. 9 more drivers in front of him, and he's trying to take on Kim Kraus. Now, we remember a little bit of Kim Kraus here. It's kind of made contact with Jonathan Jennings, and Jonathan Jennings now on the bottom, but this is looking pretty rough here. Not looking good. Watch out, St. Coeur almost into the wall. So the 218 machine going to rotate up. Oh, St. Coeur thought he was going to be able to squeeze between him and the wall, but see when Kim Kraus shut that door, Andrew St. Coeur dropped back down to the bottom and almost clipped the wall. Well, he did ricochet off the wall there, so now battle back forward. Hopefully St. Coeur doesn't have any damage that's really going to be detrimental to his race here.
And right now, Andrew St. Coeur is right now trying to make a pass on Kim Kraus. Couldn't get really a run as Kraus right now has a full momentum right there on that outside line.
Yeah, excellent run here by Kraus. Kraus starting to get a little separation from St. Coeur. Trying to reach up and grab a hold of Jackson Lomax. Has the fish hook in him now and reeling him in. So what can he do as we fly? Look at these guys. Good racing here at Darlington. 45 laps into this one. Douglas Ross, what do you notice so far?
Right now, there was a good battle going on. There was a good battle going on between Gary Clune and Stephen Wanamo, as right now it looks like Gary Clune managed to find himself now in spot 6.
Yeah, Gary Clune getting that breakaway. We're still caught up here with Jackson Lomax and Andrew St. Coeur. St. Coeur trying to finally get underneath Kim, but Kim Kraus on the outside. He's got the angle. Get another angle at this shot here. Boy, those two almost take each other out. Kraus really got too tight and then loosened up when he tried to correct. Boy, that was the same danger zone that Jonathan Jennings was in.
Kim Krause almost did a repeat on a different driver, but luckily this time he managed to save it this time. Still managing to regain himself, but now Kim Krause is now finding himself back in spot number 11.
All right, Douglas, fantastic job as a broadcaster, man. Appreciate you joining me here as we watch Andrew St Coeur and Jackson Lomax getting ready to go at it. St Coeur trying to see if he can put the 96 Chevrolet behind him. But Andrew St Coeur, boy, oh boy, has he been on the move. Oh, man, Lomax into the wall. So that's going to give St Coeur that 8th position. Jacob Reeves now up to 5th. So far, so good out of Jacob Reeves in the McConey setup shop. And he is getting it going here. I wonder if McConey Entertainment is watching their boy out here racing, sitting in that 5th position. Away he goes, trying to see if he can run down Kevin Thompson. Kevin Powell out to a 1.7 second lead. That is looking pretty solid here for Kevin Powell. Practice makes perfect, and that's exactly what we're noticing here as the 93 Ford continues to drive away with this one.
As he is right now, and another driver that is actually not too far in lap times behind Kevin Powell is actually the driver who is sitting back in spot number 5 right now, and that is Jacob Reeves in the 3 car.
Jacob Reeves still rocking it here as we're watching him rotate on through. No problems out here on the track so far. A couple of drivers getting loose here and there. St. Coeur puts Buonamo behind him. Now he's up to 7th. Not too bad. Notice how all the drivers that he's passing aren't passing anybody, except Krause has gotten around Jackson Lomax. Even more trouble. Jackson Lomax. I wonder if the offsetting of his tires now are starting to take a toll as we see him bobbing and weaving all around the track. So Jackson Lomax, not too bad. 12th position. He is unfortunately down 4 from where he originally started. But what can he do to tighten that race car up? Or is it too tight? Because it seems like the front's starting to plow, but the back end is overrunning him. So that definitely ends up in a serious understeer problem, and he's got to be careful. Otherwise, he's going to end up eating the wall, and it may actually take him completely out of the race. Ooh, and there it is. There's the pop coming out of 2 right now. I give it to Jackson Lomax. He's kind of got the Jeff Burton idea here. He said when, Jeff Burton mentioned, when you clip the wall here, it used to break the car. Guys would end up destroyed. Ooh, boy, Gary Maddow, easy there, bud. But he would hit the wall, and he says, man, it would jock the car, it'd knock the tar out of you, it'd knock your fillings out of your teeth. Now with these safer barrier walls, he said you can ricochet off the wall and continue racing out here. So that is exactly what it looks like Jackson Lomax is doing, is kind of kissing it off the wall a few turns here with as rigid as these frames are and continuing to race with really no regard for what that right front's doing.
As of right now, Patrick, it looks like we have a change for the number 2 spot, as Kevin Thompson now currently found himself now in spot number 2.
Ooh, Kevin Thompson, Twisted Axle Racing Team, number 21 Motorcraft Ford out there. He's getting it going on here. I'm waiting to see if anybody else can catch up to him. I think Jacob Reeves in a little bit of trouble there around Mike Leftwich. Inside lane, Jacob Reeves got him. Right now, that is going to put Christopher Simon kind of jammed up behind his teammate of Mike Leftwich here, trying to see if he could take a peek around. But man, oh man, Jacob Reeves back where he originally started this race. This has got to be a good sign for Jacob Reeves getting into the front. But with a pit stop he had on lap 28, really, where does this set everybody else? Christopher Simon and Leftwich last pit on 18. Andrew St. Coeur has broken in, past his teammate of Gary Clune, moving him up into 6th. So I got to admit, we look at Andrew St. Coeur. He originally started in that 17th position, and he is up to 6th. And it's imagine that. Look how nice it is when we're under green flag.
It definitely is nice seeing some green flag racing for this long of time that I've actually seen it. And definitely for Darlington, this is probably some of the best racing I've seen in a while.
All right, looks like Tim Henderson might have a problem, or he's heading down pit road for a scheduled pit stop. Yep, first one down, so he'll be working his way down, trying to see if he can fire on through. But almost a 2 1/4 second lead by Kevin Powell. And I'm wondering if Powell had some trouble. He was already sitting back there with 2.5 seconds ahead of everybody else and almost lost 3 to 4 tenths on that last lap. So hopefully Powell isn't starting to run into some problems later on in the run, because like B-Mac knows, all our guys here at Twisted Axle Racing. Yes, they are in the top 10, but Andrew St Coeur waits for these guys' tires to wear out, and then he's going to plan his attack. So let's see how well that plays out here, as I believe that is Kevin Thompson working around. Driver out there of, I believe, Curtis Ecker. Yes, Curtis Ecker in the number 9 machine. 12 laps down here as he's going to work his way down pit road. Man, oh man, really tough drive here tonight at Darlington. And really, if you come into this league, Douglas, you know, and you're thinking, man, I'm going to do pretty well, is Darlington the track you want to try it at?
Yes, I've tried Darlington many of times, and it's just not a track for me. But right now, I'm actually keeping an eye on this top 3, and as of right now, as interesting as it sounds, the fastest driver currently right now out of this top 3 is Jacob Reeves in the 3 car as of right now. He is running faster lap times right now than our leader, Kevin Powell.
3 seconds Jacob Reeves needs to make up as he sits in that 3rd position. And it is pretty interesting. You know, the number 3 car sitting in 3rd has 3 seconds to make up. So hopefully, maybe that might be some good luck for him. But let's keep it on going here. Timmy Ray out there in the chat. Appreciate you joining us out here, man. No, you can't groove the tire. No, this is asphalt racing, man. You're killing me. You're killing me. All right, keeping it going here. Looks like Jacob Reeves still sitting in that 3rd position. Not seeming to gain a little bit here. Might have let off there just a little bit, or is starting to push a little harder. But that fuel window's got to be opening now, as it looks like Jackson Lomax is on his way down pit. Into his box he goes. Let's see if anybody else considers doing the same.
It's definitely, some drivers are coming down for pit stop strategies right now. A lot of drivers are currently right now on a strategy call. And right now, the lap times right now for the top 2 are almost about dead smack even. That last time around, Kevin Thompson ran a 30.545, who was in 2nd. Our leader, Kevin Powell, currently ran a 35.52. So currently right now, Kevin Thompson is a lot faster right now than Kevin Powell, as he's still gaining ground on him going into the front stretch.
Yeah, but as I even pull that up, as you're bringing that up, my man, here Jacob Reeves and Christopher Simon are actually still running 30.3, so not too shabby here from the rest of the field, as Kevin Powell falls off almost 0.3 of a second, and guys are going to start reeling him in here pretty soon. Do want to give a quick update. Jackson Lomax did come down pit 25 seconds in his box. So I don't know if he's trying to fix a little bit of that damage he was having earlier, but that is not looking good for Jackson Lomax. He's going to be a lap down until everybody else decides to pit. Somebody else who's pitting, Jonathan Jennings, working his way down pit road yet again, trying to fix that race car up the best he can. Maybe a slew of cautions will get him back onto the lead lap, but not right now, as Henderson 2 laps behind and Orlowski 1 lap behind, sitting 14th. Only 13 drivers still here on the lead lap right now. The 2 good ones are about to end up a lap down here if they're not careful. Only about 3 seconds behind is Kevin Powell. Powell still holding off out there, but his lead has been cut down to less than a second. Jacob Reeves still waiting to see if he can pounce here. 2 1/4 behind. He was 3. But what can these guys do? Is it too late? Does Andrew St Coeur go with a 2-tire pit stop? We'll all have to see as we enter lap 60, halfway through lap 63, with Kevin Powell in the 93 Ford still in the lead.
It's currently, as of right now, still currently have 18 drivers out on track right now. 13 of them are on the lead lap, as unfortunately we did have 2 drivers take it to the garage who looks like their days are done. It looks like Curtis Ecker in the 9 and Justin McMahon in the 24. It looks like their nights might be done.
Well, I do want to give a shout out there to Curtis Ecker. He says the driver of the 9 there. First race of the season, not much time to prepare. The setup balance was awful and broke the steering early on to North Wilkesboro. Yes, that is where we will be next on to North Wilkesboro. And it's interesting to see here, Curtis Ecker. Appreciate you joining us here in the Doghouse Racing League. These guys are tough. I'm telling you, these guys are tough. And they don't mess around. When these come to the setups, the amount of time these guys can put in. But if there's if there's a team to learn from, man, I would probably say it's got to be that East Elite Southern Motorsports. Good Lord, try to mix that up 5 frickin' times. Yeah, but Elite Southern Motorsports and Loud Pedal Racing, those are your guys you want to talk to, because these guys do nothing but set up, and practice. So because they get these cars really narrowed down, and hate to see Jonathan Jennings kind of getting blasted to pieces here tonight, because I think he would have been a serious factor here at Darlington. But it looks like Kevin Powell's going to have to hold that torch out there. But right now, he's going to be in a lot of trouble as a quarter of a second is behind Kevin Thompson. Kevin Thompson reeling him in. Right now, kid, we might see a change here for the lead in a couple of turns as Kevin Thompson's going to try to set him up here. So B-Mac is going to be pretty happy to see the Twisted Axle Racing team being able to break into the lead yet again. Here it comes. Oh, Kevin Powell going to see if he can hold him off here. Not looking too good. Right there on that inside mark, Kevin Powell taking a look out that netting. Here's the 21. Right side by side these two go as they fire down the backstretch. Can they get anything going? Right now, Kevin Powell looking right in his doors. They're side by side entering turn 3. Number 4 of Tim Henderson is down a few laps here, but still trying to compete. Jacob Reeves is loving this battle in the front as it ends with Kevin Thompson prevailing and coming out with the lead to start lap 68. Boy, good racing here so far.
As a change right now for the lead, as Kevin Thompson can now declare himself as your new leader. Kevin Powell currently sitting in spot number 2. Jacob Reeves sitting back in spot number 3. And then back there in spot number 4 will be Christopher Simon in the 27, and Mike Leftwich in the 60 rounds out the top 5.
Yeah, the top 3 all within a second of each other. Unfortunately, it looks like about 4 seconds back. Christopher Simon in the 27 Toyota trying to see if he can come back to this race. But a lot of things have to happen. If a caution comes out, a good pit strategy is going to have to happen. I mean, there's so many different changes as we've already made it past the halfway point of our race. This is looking pretty dicey for our drivers out here. You know, right now they've got to be having conversations with the crew chiefs. You know, what is everybody else doing? You know, because they're looking down, they're noticing guys who are taking 2, they're noticing guys who are taking 4, they're noticing guys who have only taken a splash of fuel. So they're trying to figure this out, what they can do. But hats off there to the number 4, Tim Henderson, ducking out of the way to go ahead and let Jacob Reeves get around, because right now that is going to cause that aerodynamic bubble and allow Jacob Reeves to reel in Kevin Powell here. So a lot of movement here by the top 2, but right now for second and third, we're taking a look at the 93 and the 3, Powell and Reeves. Right now they are exactly where they started this race, and Reeves is starting to reel him in. Big time moves here, and your hats off to Jacob Reeves, man. He has really been rocking it here tonight. This is really seems to be the way to go, but already somebody saying way to go is B-Mac out there saying way to go Kevin, as he had fallen off way off the lead, and Kevin Thompson is now out by over a second, almost 1.2 seconds ahead. So that is looking great for that 21 Ford to come out and actually run down Kevin Powell here, and now got him way in the rear view.
Kevin Thompson is definitely liking what he is seeing in his rearview mirror, as right now we could have a change here for spot number 2, as Jacob Reeves now goes to the inside of Kevin Powell and he manages to make the pass. Now Jacob Reeves now finds himself in spot number 2.
Yeah, excellent job there by Jacob Reeves. This is really rocking really well for him. But let's talk about some of our guys coming back down pit road. Andrew St Coeur, he came down pit road on lap 65. Simon down on 70. Mike Leftwich came down on 70. Gary Clune working his way out of pit. So some of these drivers are now noticing, oh boy, last time Kevin Thompson, Jacob Reeves pit, can't put this in mind. Lap 28 is the last time these guys came down pit. Bobby Goodwin is the only one out on the track who's been out there the longest. He's been down there on lap 20.
God.
Yeah, no kidding. As he's been out there a right while. Dylan Goodwin already working his way down pit. Kim Kraus and Kevin Powell. Harry's going to go hang up the cleats. Those tires are done. Time for a fresh pair of shoes and a shot of gas and go. So Kevin Thompson out to the front. Jacob Reeves sitting second. And this is, hey, there we go. Daniel Wilkerson. Right now, he's another driver who pit back on lap 28. Gary Madu, he was all over the place earlier in the run. Sliding all over the place. Once he's able to get that thing tacked up, now back to the front. So watch the 63 machine. Hopefully no trouble here around the 78. Man. Man, I thought we were going to see a wreck here. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right, awesome job by all our drivers out here. Right now, nothing changing as of yet. Kevin Powell's still down pit road. He's working his way out. 20 seconds he spent in the box. So maybe a little damage fix to the right front might be worth it. Let's see if Kevin Thompson or Jacob Reeves decides to come down. Not yet. Everything's staying so far so good here. Kevin Thompson seems to not really be carrying too much here at all. Oof. Boy, I hate right when we get there and Jacob Reeves gives a quick lift to the wall there. That's not guaranteed not what he wanted to do.
I definitely tell you, it's very impressive to see these two drivers not gone 50 laps on these tires and still handling the cars the way they did. It's just impressive on how they did it.
Yeah, that it is. Right now, everybody is a lap down except our top three. Of course, they do need to pit, and I've got to admit, Andrew St Coeur may be our one to take the lead back if he can get around here fast enough. Well, right now, Kevin Thompson kind of weighing his options here. I got to admit, his best time here on the track was a 29.29. His last lap was a 30.8. So not too bad of a fall off here, about a second and a half there. And Jacob Reeves a little less than that. 29.39 for him. His last lap time was a 31.1. So he's Jacob Reeves starting to fall off here. He's kind of hoping, Kevin Thompson's going to pit here pretty soon. Not too shabby here, but well, Douglas here. You hold on just a moment, bud. We're going to head to a commercial and we'll be right back. The Doghouse Cup Series is proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is today's all-American kitchen. Open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Shoney's guests can count on quality, delicious food along with warm, friendly service. Stop by one of the West Virginia locations to try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar, and don't forget to take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. All right, everybody, and we are back. Jacob Reeves coming down pit road. Finally, Kevin Thompson, he came down pit road as well. So our final guys coming down pit road are finally getting it done. But our guy who came down on lap 65, Andrew St Coeur, trying to hurry up here. He's got to catch Jacob Reeves. Not too much time here before he catches him. As he shoots down the front stretch, this will be only a matter of time. So Andrew St Coeur gaining the lead, finally out in front as he won the last race. He's trying to get it going here, but he is right now actually trying to scramble away from Kim Kraus, who is down a lap. He's trying to scramble to get away from Kraus. Now, Kraus did come down a lap 72 and came down and pit for 4 tires, so might as well just go and let Kim Kraus on around. Do your thing. Because right now, St. Coeur out in front by over 5 seconds. So pit strategy is working. But can he hold them off with the tires he's taken? I mean, 4 tires for Andrew St. Coeur, but can they hold on? Has he pushed too early into this run? So I think Andrew St. Coeur, if it were my guess, right now he sets his car up for long runs, and this might be the long run he's been waiting for.
Definitely the long run is what Andrew St. Coeur was looking for. And back in second place, about 5 seconds back, we're finding Christopher Simon in the 27.
Yeah, not too shabby on all the drivers out here. We want to give a shout out to our league sponsors out there, Shoney's, strawberry pie, and then for Next Level Racing, we want to give them a quick shout out. I think they got a sweet little prize here for the Doghouse Racing League later on in the season, but we'll see what that is. Unsure at the moment, but let's take a look at Andrew St. Coeur. You know, I know we keep a kind of the spotlight on him here a little bit, but he's got some lap traffic he's going to have to deal with here, and that is not looking really safe here for him, because his 5-second lead has now been cut down to 4 seconds as Christopher Simon is reeling him in. He's trying to figure out how to get around, but Jackson Lomax will be the first. He's going to try to look around here and see if he can. Man, you see the acceleration point, and then that 96 right there in his way. So
Definitely not good for Andrew St. Coeur as he is trying to maneuver his way around the lap traffic. But I can tell you who is liking this probably right now is Christopher Simon, as he is gaining ground as Andrew is trying to get around the lap traffic.
less than 3.5 seconds for Christopher Simon in the 27 Toyota, reeling him in there. Let's see if we can take a look back. There's the McDonald's machine, followed by Kevin Powell. Now remember, Kevin Powell, remember how fast he was right out of the gate. He came down and pit on lap 73. Kevin Thompson came down on 80. So, well, you know, what happens? Can Kevin Thompson make up a 9-second deficit? Christopher Simon, he's down to 3 seconds, 3.5 behind is Kevin Powell. So really where these guys are now starting to seesaw through, I do want to, kind of point out the top 10 drivers are the only ones here on the lead lap. I mean, kind of odd here. We saw Kraus get on around Andrew St. Coeur there. But this is pretty wild back here, Tim Henderson being 10th position, and Lomax already going that lap down when we saw Andrew St. Coeur pass him here. So I think Henderson might be in danger right where we're seeing him sit in that blue and yellow car as Andrew St. Coeur trying to reel him in. I think Orlowski having even more trouble out there in that number 29. A lot of damage to the front of the corn machine.
Looks like we have a battle right now going on for spot number 2. Also right now as Kevin Powell managed to get his way past Christopher Simon. Kevin Powell now finds his way in the number 2 spot.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe we missed that. Jeez. Let's see if we can see him do that one more time. Let's see if we can get a quick replay. Oh yeah, look at him triangulate that turn. Look at the run. All right, well, that's how he got around him there. So really, yeah, wow. Christopher Simon going to go ahead and duck off on that one. You got a guy coming up that fast. Let him have it. All right, Kevin Powell looks like he works his way around Lomax now, and they continue on triangulating the turn here for Kevin Powell. Now down to less than 2.5 seconds for the 93 machine to reach up there and grab a hold of Andrew St. Coeur with only 21 laps left to go. Kevin Powell led a good chunk of the laps here in the beginning. But now he's going to try to see if he can get that lead back. But has Andrew St. Coeur sat back and saved his tires? Is he waiting this out, or has he burned them up too soon? The pit call seemed to work out well so far, but 8-lap difference on the tire call for these two drivers. You see Andrew St. Coeur here, Kevin Powell, and Christopher Simon. So right now, 2 and 3 getting ready to pounce here in a matter of laps. But only 20 laps to go. I'm thinking probably lap 15 here. They're going to be all over.
That's because as of right now, Andrew St. Coeur is currently right now running a 30.484. Kevin Powell is currently running a 29.904. So that is the difference between first and second right now.
Yeah, that half a second difference is making the world of difference right now for Kevin Powell. But does Powell have enough to get around him here? That setup just seems to be the dynamite setup here tonight, as he has been laying down extremely fast times, 29.25 for him. I believe he is the fastest one to lay down a time here on the track. So far, so good. This is just this is mind-blowing right now as he's coming up with, he's getting ready to break under that second mark. I was calling lap 15. It may be sooner than that. But so far, so good. Coeur, Powell, Simon, 1, 2, and 3. Kevin Thompson sitting 4th. and Jacob Reeves dropping down to that 5th position. Now, Reeves did hang out there till lap 81, but now that has cost him a 7-second gap before he can get back up to the lead. But we'll keep an eye here on Kevin Powell as he reels in Andrew St Coeur here for the remainder of this race, because this is looking pretty dicey here between these two.
It's going to get even more dicey because as of right now, Andrew St Coeur is about to catch more lap traffic happening right in front of him. I have a feeling the game is going to be changing in about 1 or 2 laps.
Already, yeah, looks like a little kiss off the wall there for Kraus that was right in front of him. And St Coeur is going to be running into nothing but trouble here. This is not good, as he's going to want to put Tim Henderson and Buenamo down a lap here. But boy, like you said, that's what we're looking at as we take a look off the back tail end here of Tim Henderson. As here comes Andrew St Coeur trying to find a route before Kevin Powell catches him, but only 0.3 of a second, and we're watching a bunch of these Chevrolets kind of scraping the wall exit between 3 and 4. What happens next, and we'll have to see as we get going on less than 50, about 15 laps left to go, and Andrew St Coeur trying to run into that lap traffic.
Kevin Powell has found Andrew St Coeur, and here goes Kevin Powell trying to go for the pass, and it looks like he did it. Kevin Powell will now be our new race leader.
Alrighty, St Coeur drops down to 3rd as Christopher Simon kind of gets the 1-2 punch here. Underneath he goes. So Andrew St Coeur popped the wall exiting 2, which is now going to put Kevin Powell in the front. And what does Christopher Simon do? I'll guarantee you Simon's going to have this thing to the floor, because he said, okay, it's just me and Kevin Powell now. Let's see if I can run him down. So can the McDonald's machine get it going here? The only Toyota, once again, like I said, on the track. And the remainder in the front are Fords. Right now, Kevin Powell's Ford, Andrew St Coeur, and Kevin Thompson's Ford trying to get it going here. But Kevin Thompson only down by a second and a third here. And not looking too good here for Andrew St Coeur, as he has fallen off by a second off that lead.
Things are about to shake up right now. Yes, Christopher Simon has found Kevin Powell, but they have also found the lap traffic right in front of him. This is probably going to be dicey.
Yeah, Henderson dropping off to the track, trying to get out of the way. 22 machine of Buenamo moves out of the way. All right, well, looks like everything seems to be A-okay. Andrew St Coeur trying to see if he can floss around on that outside, and yes, he's going to make it through unscathed. But man, you can almost feel the tire wear on Andrew St Coeur right now. You see him, it almost looks like he's battling the wheel trying to get through here. But he's got a teammate of Kevin Thompson sitting right behind him. Kevin Thompson getting ready to overtake. Yep, got him here by about half a car. Jacob Reeves sitting 5th. He's trying to figure out how to make up some time here as well. Oof, that probably wouldn't be the way to do as he knocks it off the wall there just a little bit. And Kevin Powell already fighting along Kim Kraus here, trying to put the 8th position on the track a lap down. Man, that's something, man.
How about Kevin Thompson? He has now found the 2. It is now going to be probably a 3-way battle for the #1 spot as we are coming to 10 to go.
Oh, man, Jacob Reeves gives a wicked little pop here to the number 12. Holy cow, I thought we were getting ready to see another caution here. That was looking ugly. Now Kevin Thompson on the inside of Christopher Simon, prepping Michelle. We'll see if Christopher Simon can keep it going here. Simon into the wall. Kevin Thompson now flies underneath. 10 laps left to go. Can Kevin Powell get away? Right now, I guarantee you, he has got to figure out how to get a little more horsepower underneath of him, because he has got somebody who's hungry for that spot. 7 laps fresher tires for Kevin Thompson as he's getting ready to reel in Kevin Powell. So can win #1 and win #2. Go to the Twisted Axle Racing Team. 9 laps left to go, and we'll determine that, I guarantee you. Right now, Kevin Powell trying to see if he can hold him off here. Less than 0.2 of a second off the back. So can Kevin Thompson find him? Right now, he's trying to weasel his way around. Taking a look here on the inside. This might be the shot. Here it comes, inside line, heading into 3. 21 machine into the front. Can he brake check him a little bit? Absolutely not. He's got the hook up, and he's going to now start pulling away. Kevin Powell starting to feel this wind slip away as he falls off by 1/4 of a second.
Kevin Thompson will find his way now into the #1 spot. Kevin Powell is back in spot #2, and Christopher Simon is hanging right in the review mirror as he's trying to pass into the inside on Kevin Powell as we have a battle currently for second place.
Yeah, Kevin Powell in that second place right now, seeing if he can get it. Right now he's, little knock right there, exiting 3 and 4. Not too bad there, as it's still trying to, the 27 machine, trying to hold a fender on Kevin Powell, but Kevin Powell makes that break. Full clear, his spotter says, so he's going to slide on up in front of him. So the McDonald's machine trying to figure out if he can get a little more on here. And right now he's got to be loving that spot, sitting third, at least a podium position here for tonight, because Kevin Powell is trying to be about as wide as a train car here and not let anything pass him. So far, so good out of our top 3 drivers. A little bit of battling going on between Kevin Powell and Simon. Jacob Reeves sitting down in that 4th position. He's got a little bit more to make up here. He's about 2 1/4 seconds, but he's falling off. Can he figure out how to get a little more run here to catch up to 2 and 3? Right now, taking a look at Christopher Simon still. I still think Simon might have a little something for us here as Kevin Thompson pulling away. 21 machine almost out to a 2-second lead. What an awesome way to flip the script here. All right, here we go again. Christopher Simon to the inside. Kevin Powell's got the angle. And Jacob Reeves from out of nowhere, here he comes. Now Jacob Reeves for that 3rd position. He's got it. Slides on around the 27 right now. That tire call at lap 81 might be the one to pay off. Can Jacob Reeves now catch Kevin Powell? Here we go. Jacob Reeves trying to see if he can find a little more as we've got 4 laps to go. Man, I gotta tell you what, Douglas, right now the battle here in the top 4 positions, this is awesome.
It's definitely, and I'm not even on the track and I'm actually getting hyped up for this. This is a race.
All right, and you're going to need the defibrillator down in pit road for a couple of these drivers. Some of them may be holding their breath a little too long as Jacob Reeves is trying to reel in the 93 of Kevin Powell, but can he get it done? Jacob Reeves not trying to keep his eyes out the windshield because Christopher Simon is all over him. Little bit more separation as Jacob Reeves gets an excellent turn 4 exit here. Little triangulation. Ooh, come on. See, right there. Jacob Reeves has to check up a little bit between 1 and 2, pulls down just a little bit and starts making up that room there on Kevin Powell again. Right now, Jacob Reeves running about a 1/10 of a second faster than Kevin Powell. Can he catch him? 2 laps left to go. Kevin Thompson driving away with this one. Unless he hits lap traffic and totals his car, I think he's got this in the bag. Right now, Jacob Reeves trying to roll on through. Reeves, fellow broadcaster with me in the Racing Revolution League, said he was going to try to talk to me this evening. And he's trying his best. Right now, he's got it, sitting 3rd, but I guarantee you that 27 of Christopher Simon is still sniffing around for that position. White flag is out last time by. Jacob Reeves, I'm sure, would be really happy to squeeze out 2nd place, and Christopher Simon wants 3rd. So right now, Jacob Reeves is in the hot seat. Can he hold anybody off? Here comes the 27. Good run. As we enter through the backstretch right now, Jacob Reeves, look at this run. He's going to reel him in, not letting off the gas. These two are going to battle on through. Kevin Thompson takes the win on the inside line for Christopher Simon. Simon battles toward the inside. Reeves on the outside, and he loses it. Holy cow. Kevin Powell gets 2nd, and Christopher Simon, on half a lap left to go, slides underneath Jacob Reeves for that 3rd place finish. Preppy Michelle, hands in the air. Yes, Preppy Michelle, I do read your chat out there. Appreciate you guys tuning in here tonight. What an awesome race here right at the end. I would say that all but the top 7 drivers on the lead lap. That was impressive. That was impressive. Let's go ahead and see if we can pull up a screen here of all our where your favorite racer may have been. I think Justin McMahon had a lot of electrical issues here tonight. He kind of had to check out there early in the race. There we go. Kevin Thompson frying the last of his tires off. Man, oh man, that was worth it. I don't know about you, Douglas. That actually was awesome, even right to the end there. Last or so lap pass. That was a righteous move.
There was a couple of times I was holding my breath for a couple of times when these drivers were going side by side. This was an incredible race.
Yeah, and fuel strategy and tire strategy had to pay off completely. Tim Henderson out there in the chat saying he ran out of fuel trying to make a pass. Alrighty, everybody, hold on just a moment. We'll reel our drivers in and have a little conversation because I've got to know how all this boiled down. I mean, this was crazy even to the end. All right, everybody, and I have reeled our third place finisher, the only Toyota to show up tonight, Christopher Simon. You know, I honestly didn't think we'd be talking to you. I thought I'd be talking to the number 3 of Jacob Reeves. Talk to me about the entire race here, man. What a wild run this was.
Yeah, it really was. Like, this is not one of my best tracks out there. I was really surprised I came out third in this race.
Yeah, well, it's got to be more than that, man. The race back and forth, you hung out in second. You've been chasing Kevin Powell most of this race, but right here, really in the last 5 laps or so, I mean, the battle there with Jacob Reeves, it looks like it was all but lost. But where did you find the extra power to slice around him here?
Somewhere in around turn 3 and 4, like I was able to get a good turn off there and got side by side by Jacob Reeves over there to the finish line over there. I thought he's gonna finish me there, but no, I couldn't pass. I passed him right there. I'm surprised. I finished third, and that what happened.
Dude, what a great race! What a great race! You have any idea where we start next round? Where we are next race? Because I do. North Wilkesboro, baby. That's where we're going. 1987 track. So talk to me about that track. How confident you feeling heading to the short track?
My team is usually good at short track racing, but I haven't raced there in a while with this next gen car, so I'll be practicing for that track next week.
Attaboy. Practice, practice, practice. Give me shout outs.
I want to thank Shoney's Racing for being part of this my teammates, Mike out there. Chris couldn't be here tonight, so hopefully he's watching this race. And I want to thank Shoney's for sponsoring this league. I want to thank Daniel, Kevin, and all the admins for this league. It's really fun. I want to thank my family out there watching right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're pretty happy about that. I think Preppy Michelle out there was rooting you on, coming away with the third place finish.
Yeah, that's my little sister there.
Your little sister?
Yep.
Jeez. All right, Christopher. Congratulations in your third place finish. Hopefully we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Sounds good.
Yep. All right, everybody. That's Christopher Simon in the 27 Toyota. Let's move to Kevin Powell, because this guy right here led a bunch of laps, got out front, pit strategies. Kevin Powell talked to me about it here, man. This race was a wild one.
Yes, sir. I made I don't know, man. I burnt my tires up in that second run and pit. I think I pit a little too early. So, but second place isn't bad. I had to fight extremely hard just to keep second, um, holding my line and everything. I honestly think Simon was faster than me, him and Jake. But when they were battling, that gave me a little bit of breathing room, and I just tried to hold my line and stay out of people.
Yeah, well, you're talking a little bit about your tires were burning up in that run, and you may have pit early. I mean, I couldn't imagine hanging out there longer. I mean, it would have been more detrimental. I mean, you pit back on lap 73. I know Kevin Thompson pit on 80. I mean, could you have made it to that 80 mark?
I don't think so. Honestly, it was too far gone at that point.
See, so you were between a rock and a hard place. You kind of ran out of options there. Did you get nervous when Andrew St Coeur was out there by 5 seconds?
No, I didn't get nervous. I was listening to the spotter and the crew chief, and they were telling me I was running him down half a second, and I could see it as well. So I wasn't nervous, but I definitely pushed a lot harder than I should have.
All right, man. Well, North Wilkesboro next week. Talk to me about it.
Man, I hope it goes green. Hopefully it will, but I feel like if we get in and get a lot of practice in, we'll be up front, maybe top 3 again.
Yeah, well, that definitely when it gets down to short track racing, you get short track tempers, and it's hard not having cars getting spun out and things like that. But hopefully everybody can stay safe and facing in the right direction. Kevin Powell, give me your shout out, sir, bud.
Yeah, man, I want to shout out to my team, especially Jonathan. He's so fast, and he puts in so much work on these setups, and for him to get taken out like he did, it's horrible, man. People shouldn't drive over their heads. Shout out to you guys for the broadcast. All our sponsors that came on board. Next Level, Shawnee's, everybody. All the admins and all the Doghouse. Just for it's like I say all the time. I think we got the best league on the platform.
All righty. Well, hopefully Jonathan Jennings can find in his heart to give a little forgiveness there to Kim Kraus. They kind of tagged that wall there a little bit. I know Jonathan Jennings puts in a lot of time, and you as well. You guys definitely tuning these cars up, but I know mistakes happen, but hopefully maybe when the time comes, you'll get the help when you need it.
Well, it's hard to give forgiveness to a guy that feels he did no wrong.
Kevin, easy, mister.
I just call it how it is, man. I ain't saying nothing bad.
I got you, man. Try to work it out. I'll talk to you next week.
You too, man. Have a good one.
You too. Douglas, did that get really hairy really quick?
Yeah, it kind of did a little bit, I had a feeling.
That it did, man. I was like, oh, here we go. That'll get him going. That always gets everybody stirred up pretty good. All right, speaking of stirring things up, Kevin Thompson did plenty of stirring up. 4 positions gained for the win. Twisted Axle Racing puts another winner in, really into victory lane. Kevin Thompson, talk to me about this race here, man.
Oh, it was a wild one. First off, I want to thank my teammates for building a really good setup. All of us finished in the top 10. Wild race. Came in. Today was my first day practicing at this track with that setup. Just came in, raced the track, and no one else. So I came in with my mindset to race the track and stay clean the rest of all the race.
Man, you came from behind. Were able to fly around a couple of the drivers here. I mean, I know you and Andrew St Coeur were side by side there for a while. You did pretty well up there toward the front, but I would almost question the pit you made on lap 80. I would ask if that was a planned pit, and was it a great call, or could it have been better?
I was just going until I ran out of gas.
So. Nah. All right. Well, somewhere where you guys may or may not run out of gas will actually be in North Wilkesboro. Kind of that short track is definitely viable to see people wanting to fist fight after that one. What do you say?
I gotta do a lot of practicing. I'm not really good at short tracks, especially there. Yeah, we should have a good car there with the setups and our teammates.
Ooh, did anybody else help you set up your car for this race tonight?
Yeah, my teammate in the 12.
All right. All right, awesome. All right, man. Give me a shout outs here.
Shout out to my family that watches every week. Shout out to y'all and Daniel. And one shout out I need to make is to my mom that's in the hospital right now. And it's been a tough 2 weeks. Hopefully she's doing good and this wins for her.
All right, man. I hope you're within range. Go ahead and hop on off here and try to get over there, my man.
All right.
All righty. As Kevin Thompson there, I do want to give a shout out there to his mom. Hate to hear that she is in the hospital. Win goes out to her tonight. Fantastic job there by Kevin Thompson. So, he had a little chip on his shoulder for tonight's race. I got to admit, that may have been his little extra edge here for that 21-4 to bring home the win. Douglas Ross, appreciate you joining me here tonight, man. What a great opportunity for you to join alongside me again.
It is, and after the racing I've seen tonight, this is probably some of the best racing I've actually seen in quite a while. I actually can't wait to be back next week when we head to North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, well, if you see how well these guys drove tonight and really the lack of the amount of cautions that we saw here, I'm wondering if North Wilkesboro will kind of swap that around. If we're going to see a whole bunch, I mean, is it going to be a mess, or is this going to be, is this going to be a race where we see one, if none? I mean, these guys definitely surprise me each and every week. But thank you, Douglas Ross, for joining me. Patrick Morrison here in the booth with Simtrack Broadcasting, signing off for tonight. Be well, be safe, be kind, and I'll see all you guys next time.